Cincinnati as the Los Angeles Chargers made the trip from L.A. to Cincy to battle Joe Burrow in Burrow's opening game as a pro. The Chargers hang on at the end for a 16-14 win. Watching that game was a member of the Los Angeles Chargers practice squad, Breiden Fehoko, as we've been documenting and talking about here for the last couple of weeks. Chargers and Rams, centerpiece of Hard Knocks, and Fehoko has been getting a ton of TV time. And I think one of the most powerful images or videos that came out of Hard Knocks was the decision for Anthony Lynn and the Los Angeles Chargers to keep Fehoko. That conversation and the entire aftermath of that, with Breiden calling his family back in Lubbock and giving them the news that he had made the Los Angeles Chargers practice squad, is some of the most powerful television that I've seen, especially through this pandemic. And our guy, former LSU Tiger, has woken up with us early on the West Coast. He's out in L.A. And is joining us now here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Big fella, it is great to talk to you. Good morning.
Good morning, man. I appreciate y'all for having me finally.
Absolutely, man. It's good to have you back. And we were talking about the piece of television where you got the news from Coach Kim, and I want to talk about him. He seems like he's a fantastic leader and a fantastic dude. But just that part of it, Breiden, when you got the news that all of this hard work that you've put in for the last 22 years has now made you a professional football player.
It's crazy, to actually meet with him and then, just to talk to him, not just, for that little segment on Hard Knocks, but every day whenever he sees me, he's always giving me a little piece of advice to keep working. Real sincere guy. So the guy you guys see on TV is the guy you guys get behind, closed doors. He's a great guy. He's a great leader. He knows when to press on with the team. He knows when to back off. So just to be around a guy like that, for him to consistently, whenever he sees me, to give me advice, to give me, motivation, stuff like that, to keep going, things I need to work on. It's a great organization to be a part of right now.
I said out loud in my living room in watching it that you had made the team when I saw the veterans take interest in you, not when you led the hawker in front of the team, and that got everybody going. And even Anthony Kim said right there, "Hey, son, you just made the team." I thought that you had really made a dent in the roster when I saw Melvin Ingram take interest in your development. Can you talk about that part of the process when you started to see the older guys take interest in your development and make sure that you stayed on time and on task?
Yeah, so it was big for me. Coming in with COVID, no pro day, no combine, stuff like that. I just had a big chip on my shoulder, and I still do. And one of the biggest things, more than just making the team, was I wanted to be vested with the veterans. I wanted the veterans to know that, hey, who is this rook? I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's got good technique. He comes from a good college. He knows he's well along. He's ready to play. And more than just showing that you can play, showing that the veterans can trust you as a young guy, 23 years old, into the NFL as a rookie. That was one of my biggest goals coming into camp, whether it was with Melvin, whether it was with Limbaugh, whether it was with Joey. I wanted to show all these veterans that, hey, you know what, I can ball, I can hold my own, but at the same time, I'm willing to learn every day. And so to know that the older guys were looking out for me and I made an impact on them well enough to keep me around this place means a lot. I mean, the front, we're so deep at defensive line right now.
Yeah.
To have those guys in my back corner, in my back pocket right now, rooting for me and just continuing to show me the ropes every day means a lot. No doubt about that.
Yeah, look, y'all's defense is impressive. Like I was talking about the other day, but I don't think Burrow's going to face another squad like that for a while. Breiden, what do you think, man? Here early on, what is the biggest difference on the field between college and the pros?
Oh man, there's no babysitting. In the NFL, man, it's sad to say, and it's crazy, but if they don't like you, they'll go get somebody else to go get the job done. In college, unfortunately, sometimes you got to stick it out with the players you go recruit.
Yeah.
You get a scholarship, and everybody gets to stick around in college. Once you sign that letter of intent and you get to, a college campus, you're there for 4 or 5 years, unless, knock on wood, something doesn't happen. But here in the NFL, one thing I've noticed is, everybody handles their business pretty well. And then, on the field, for me, it wasn't much of a physical. you know, jump as, the game's a lot faster, but for me it was more mental because
Yeah.
our playbook is so much more bigger than what I was used to at LSU. So much more versatile, so much more check, so much more just, little adjustments here and there for different type of offensive looks that I have to know as a defensive line. So those were big differences I noticed as soon as I got to LA and I started, getting into the life of, being an NFL player.
Breiden, how did being at LSU prepare you for that versatility? Because when I look back in your career, a lot of times I think you're maybe asked to play out of position or asked to do a lot of the dirty work, whether that was lined up directly in the middle or playing in that 3-4, maybe even be a 3-tech. So how did that prepare you then for the multiple looks with Coach Lynn?
Oh, it's all about versatility and availability in today's game and the day and age we're living in right now with sports. At LSU, I'm so grateful to have been around great coaches. I mean, my first year there, I had Coach Pete, Jenkins. And I wouldn't be the run game defender. That's my biggest strength and asset right now as a player is being a run game defender. I wouldn't have the technique and, the skills I would have, going on right now if it wasn't for Coach Pete, Coach O, Coach Johnson, Coach Bill Johnson, Meatball, all those guys. And then just to be around top-tier competition every day, not just being able to be versatile and play their position, but going against Lloyd, going against D-Lou, against Adrian, Badara, Sadiq, all these guys on a daily basis, like that stuff got me ready. That stuff told me more than anything, like, you got to bring your A game every day. I approach practice every day like it's a competition Tuesday in Baton Rouge. If you can get through a competition Tuesday in Baton Rouge, you can get through anything in life. I promise you.
Wow.
So that stuff really prepared me well for the league. I can almost guarantee that.
I mean, look at all those guys that are in the league now, right? I mean, y'all are all making it, so it makes sense.
Can you take me back to a competition Tuesday? What makes it so difficult?
Whew. First of all, it's that weather, so we're hoping it rains first and foremost.
Yeah, dude, how nice is it to be in LA? Oh my God.
So we're hoping it rains so we get to stay in the indoor.
Yeah.
But it's that stretch in the indoor, man, and Coach O blows that whistle, and we're hauling A on the field outside, and as soon as you run outside, that heat just it just
punches
hits you like.
Yeah.
You got that helmet on, the shoulder pads, dude. I mean, you sweat.
Oh man, it hits you, and then you go through the bags, and then you start going through Indy, and then Coach O's barking at you in Indy, and we just started practice, and there's times where ask the trainer to tape your wrist, and Coach O's barking get this rep in, da 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 da, and individual alone with Coach O, that's one thing that you need to get your mind right, If you don't get your mind right for Indy with Coach O, you better buckle down for the day. I can almost guarantee you that. But no, and then after that, it's a bunch of just one-on-one competition, best on best. And so, you're looking at guys not just O-line, D-line, but running back, linebackers. Clyde going against Jacob, PQ. Guys like Jamar and Jay Jett going against, Grant Christian Fulton on a daily basis. So I'm glad, a competition Tuesday was a weekly thing in Baton Rouge because that right there got me ready. No doubt about it.
Breiden, big news yesterday for LSU. Neil Farell Jr. opted back in. I didn't know his numbers. I mean, when you looked at him, he led all defensive line and tackles. He had 3 sacks last year, 7 TFLs. What type of player does LSU get back into the locker room with Farell?
You're getting a playmaker. Man, Neil is a playmaker. I'm telling you, I'm excited to see him. Neil's one of my best friends. I'm not saying this because he is my best friend, but I'm excited for him. I got full faith that he can be a 1 through 3 kind of guy come April next year. He knows what he needs to work on. He knows he's got to work his way up on the depth chart at LSU and gain the team's respect back again. When you come back like that, nothing's ever handed to you at LSU. Everything's always not given. And so, he knows he's got to, earn everything on his own back. So, more than anything, I'm excited. I know, the D-line was getting a little thin, because Tyler opted out and then Neil opted out. So, to have Neil back is a really, really big piece that I'm hoping that, fulfills in that defense. And honestly, I'm excited to see him in that new defense.
Yes.
I'm excited to see the defensive line eat.
Yeah, I mean, look, O was hyping it up yesterday, talking about the new scheme, the 4-3. I think you would have killed it as a 3 technique in this Pelini scheme. What about Big T? Like you said, you're here at the beginning of your NFL journey. You're talking about things like accountability. If you had to offer any advice to Shelvin, whether it's whether he returns or not, what would it be as he tries to get ready for the NFL?
Honestly, the only thing I would tell Tyler, whatever he decides to do, is just to keep remaining humble and then keep trusting the plan that, his family, his coach O, all the older people who have, set out to give him advice and look out for him, just keep trusting them, keep trusting the word. Because, at this time, during this day and age with COVID and everything, a lot of these young players who are opting out and who don't know what they're doing, getting ready for the draft or things like that, are going to get bad advice. They're going to, hey man, opt out. Let's get you signed on an agent contract and this and that. And it's sad because as I look back in now, that could have been me if I was in college a year later today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so gauge the right advice as much as you can from the right people. And then, honestly, when you do get the opportunity, whether you do decide to come back or whether you decide to fully opt out and declare for the draft, just take it and run with it. Don't look back. Tyler's a hell of a player. I think he's another 1-3 guy, and I'm not trying to be, one of those draft analysts here, but, I've played with him. Tyler's one of those kids that's just like, for 350, 360, however heavy he is, he's nimble on his toes, nimble on his feet, he can move. So I'm excited to see what he does. I'm just wishing the best for him and whatever he does.
Former LSU standout, current Los Angeles Charger,
Love this
Breiden
man.
Fehoko, joining us here on OTB. Tell our listeners real quick before we get you out of here, what's a day in the life like? What's your itinerary like now as a pro football player every day?
Oh man, so right now I'm driving to work, and it's such a blessing to say that because this year's been so tough for rookies. But driving to work right now, regular work day, we could report in at 6-ish, 7-ish. You got to go get COVID testing before you get in the building. And then once you get in the building, it's workouts, meetings, practice. We have lunch, and then we get the film, and then we're out the door by 4 or 5, and then I'm back home relaxing, watching the film again at home myself, trying to find time to get treatment on my own, trying to find time to take care of my body, whether it's massages, cupping, acupuncture, all that stuff. So pretty good day, pretty solid. The days go by a lot quicker towards the end of the week. But definitely blessed to still have a job in this league.
The entire state of
dude.
Louisiana is behind you and pulling for you, Breiden. Very proud of what you accomplished, and can't wait to watch you play more football. Please tell your family hello and that we wish them the best. Great to hear from you, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all for having me, man. I got to get down to bat time.
Always. And when you do, look us up, man. Come in
Open
studio.
invite.
We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. See y'all soon.
There he is, Breiden Fehoko, checking in from the West Coast this morning. We'll close that hour 2 next.